The Green Bay Packers lost 34-26 to the Denver Broncos on Sunday, but the final score barely mattered. What felt like a potential Super Bowl preview instead may have dealt a crushing blow to Green Bay's season. Late in the third quarter, star pass rusher Micah Parsons suffered a devastating knee injury that is believed to be a torn ACL. Chasing quarterback Bo Nix, Parsons attempted to change direction, immediately grabbed his left knee, and went down. He eventually walked off the field and into the locker room with trainers, his hands covering his face. "It doesn't look good. I'll leave it at that," head coach Matt LaFleur said afterward. With the loss, the Packers dropped from first place in the NFC North to 7th in the NFC standings. At 9-4-1, they still have a chance to reclaim the division lead in a rematch against the Chicago Bears on Saturday night, but likely without the most dominant defender on their roster. Green Bay appeared to be in full control early. The Packers led 23-14 in the third quarter against a Broncos team that entered the game with an AFC best 11-2 record. Jordan Love and the offense were carving up one of the league's top defenses, scoring on all 5 of their first possessions. Josh Jacobs opened the second half with a 40-yard touchdown run, giving Green Bay 297 yards and 23 points in just 31 minutes. Then everything unraveled. Patrick Surtain-Sue intercepted Love on a deep shot intended for Christian Watson, a play that changed the game and possibly the season. Denver turned the takeaway into a touchdown, while Watson landed hard and left the game with a chest injury. Injuries piled up quickly. Right tackle Zach Tom suffered a knee injury earlier and missed the final 2+ quarters. Safety Evan Williams was injured on the same series Parsons went down. Tight end Tucker Kraft is already out for the season with a torn ACL. Watson, Green Bay's top receiver, and Tom, the team's best lineman, both finished the game sidelined. "Long term, I think we're going to be all right," LaFleur said regarding Tom and Williams. Parsons' injury, however, loomed far larger than the rest. He wasn't just Green Bay's best pass rusher or best defensive player. He had been one of the most dominant defenders in the NFL, a generational talent who transformed the Packers into legitimate Super Bowl contenders. After Parsons exited, Denver took control. Bo Nix threw a 14-yard touchdown pass to Courtland Sutton to give the Broncos a 27-23 lead. Green Bay responded with a field goal, but Denver answered again. A 4th-and-2 conversion to Sutton set up R.J. Harvey's 4-yard touchdown, pushing the lead to 34-26 with 7:27 remaining. The Packers had chances late, but without Watson and with a weakened offensive line, they couldn't finish. Love threw an interception to Riley Moss after Dontavion Wicks couldn't secure a pass. On the final meaningful drive, Love was sacked on 2nd and 7 and 4th and 9, ending any hope of a comeback. Denver nearly gave the Packers another opportunity by failing to run out the clock, but Love couldn't capitalize. A short throw to Jaden Reed on 2nd and 15 fell well short of the sticks. After dominating early, Green Bay finished with 362 total yards. Love went 24 of 40 for 276 yards with 1 touchdown and 2 interceptions. Jacobs, playing through a knee issue, had 73 rushing yards and a touchdown on 12 carries, plus a highlight 14-yard touchdown catch in the second quarter. Nix finished 23 of 34 for 302 yards and 4 touchdowns. The Packers may still be alive in the NFC playoff race, but if Micah Parsons is lost for the season, everything changes. What once looked like a championship-caliber run now feels fragile, and Sunday in Denver may be remembered as the moment it all slipped away. The score barely mattered. The season might have ended anyway. Green Bay's 34-26 loss to the Denver Broncos felt like a potential Super Bowl preview when it kicked off. By the time it ended, it felt like something far worse. Late in the third quarter, Micah Parsons went down, clutching his left knee, and with him went the Packers' sense of security, momentum, and maybe their championship hopes. Parsons was chasing Bo Nix when he tried to change direction. His knee buckled. He grabbed at it immediately. Trainers rushed out. He eventually walked off, hands over his face, straight to the locker room. The fear inside the building was immediate, a torn ACL. "It doesn't look good," Matt LaFleur said afterward. He didn't need to say more. At that moment, Green Bay was still in control. The Packers led 23-14, having scored on all 5 possessions to open the game. Jordan Love was carving up one of the NFL's best defenses. Josh Jacobs had ripped off a 40-yard touchdown run to start the second half. Everything pointed toward a statement win against an 11-2 Broncos team. Then, everything flipped. Patrick Surtain intercepted Love on a deep shot to Christian Watson, a play that changed more than field position. Watson landed hard and left the game with a chest injury. Earlier, right tackle Zach Tom had already exited with a knee issue. Safety Evan Williams went down on the same series Parsons was injured. One by one, pillars started falling. Denver turned the interception into a touchdown. Suddenly it was 23-21. The Packers' sideline felt different. Tight. Fragile. Then Parsons went down. On the final play of the third quarter, Nix hit Cortland Sutton for the go-ahead touchdown. Without Parsons generating pressure, the Broncos looked comfortable, confident, free. They added another touchdown early in the fourth quarter, stretching the lead to 34-26, and Green Bay never recovered. The Packers had chances. Love found Matthew Golden to set up a field goal. Later, Dontavion Wicks came open on a critical throw, but the ball bounced off his hands and into an interception. On the final drive, Love escaped the pocket with hope still alive, only to check it down short. The clock ran out. So did the belief. Parsons wasn't just the Packers' best pass rusher. He wasn't just their best defensive player. He may have been the best defensive player in football, a generational talent who turned Green Bay into a legitimate Super Bowl contender overnight. Losing him changes everything. By the end of the night, the Packers had fallen from first place in the NFC North to seventh in the conference. They're still alive. They still get the Bears next. They still control pieces of their destiny. But it's a different team now. Denver finished with 302 passing yards and 4 touchdowns from Nix. Love threw for 276 yards, a touchdown, and 2 interceptions. The Packers piled up yards early, then stalled when it mattered most. Without Parsons, without Watson, without protection, the margin for error disappeared. This game wasn't just a loss. It was a warning. And depending on the MRI results, it may be remembered as the night Green Bay's season broke in half. The Packers walked into Denver looking like contenders. They walked out wondering who they are without Micah Parsons. The Green Bay Packers lost 34-26 to the Denver Broncos on Sunday, but the final score barely mattered. What felt like a potential Super Bowl preview instead may have dealt a crushing blow to Green Bay's season. Late in the third quarter, star pass rusher Micah Parsons suffered a devastating knee injury that is believed to be a torn ACL. Chasing quarterback Bo Nix, Parsons attempted to change direction, immediately grabbed his left knee, and went down. He eventually walked off the field and into the locker room with trainers, his hands covering his face. "It doesn't look good. I'll leave it at that," head coach Matt LaFleur said afterward. With the loss, the Packers dropped from first place in the NFC North to 7th in the NFC standings. At 9-4-1, they still have a chance to reclaim the division lead